Hey guys, Chaps here, and welcome back to Shifting Gears. Today we'll be discussing various aspects of the Gears 4 campaign. This is just part 2 of 4 for the campaign discussion. Check out the description for links to the other videos as they become available. I'll also have the full 2-ish hour video available later this week. As always, I have the guest profiles and a write-up of my personal views linked below. Thanks for watching, and let's pick up where we left off last time. So, actually, that kind of transitioned us into let's talk about the story.
Okay.
And so the story, I mean, not only do we have
realistic.
Not only do we have we'll talk through the chapter and the actual story itself, but we'll talk about the throwbacks and the plausibility and stuff like that. So you mentioned the throwback to the characters, which, Schwartz, I know that from you and I talking, this is something you've brought up plenty of times that you weren't a fan of. They need to let go of the past and focus on the future, right?
Yeah.
Where did I hear that before?
I mean, it's cool. Haha, I get that reference. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like...
Oh, sorry.
I mean, don't, cut it completely. Marcus is cool, Cole's still cool, but, the fact that it's just,
Just get rid of Bear.
it's all tied together.
Bear's like,
No!
Jess.
Give him Rogaine.
Give him Rogaine.
I think he's beyond that.
But, yeah, I mean, there's all these nods to the previous games, which some of them are like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but really they need to move on.
That was one of the big things that kept me somewhat interested in this story. I'm sorry. Maybe they should let go of the past, but those were probably my favorite moments because I love those characters.
Yeah, let's kill Anya and then bring back the annoying Sam. Let's bring back annoying Sam. Yeah.
I
Baird's
knew
lady,
Sam and
special
Baird
lady
was gonna
friend.
hook up. I knew it.
Special lady friend.
Special lady friend.
That reminds me of that scene from The Big Lebowski all the time where Jeff Bridges is just like, she's not my wife, she's my freaking lady friend, man. She's my special lady friend.
Again, that just means the interactions between Delta Squad with each other was so much better than the interactions with.
Yeah, it is. They are the saving grace in this game because they're better than any of the new characters. But I was a little disappointed when they decided to focus on the character who's the son of Marcus, which okay, they made that call, so we can go with it. But I don't know. I kind of wish that they would start moving on from Delta Squad.
Do you think
they don't have to die and they can still be around, but
do you think Delta Squad will be involved in Gears 5 at all? Do you think Baird and Cole?
Oh yeah,
imagine
that's
they will.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
What about this? Do you think
I want them to be?
Do you think there's any other characters from the previous trilogy that we're going to get introduced to in Gears 5 that's
Dizzy.
I can already hear somebody screaming, Carmine!
No. I'm just going to put it out there. I hope Carmine dies and never appears again.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope Gary was just a little nod to the Carmine thing, but that was their way of killing off Gary was their way of killing off all right, Carmines are done. We're done with this.
I know I'm going to get hate for that, but I can't stand him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun the first 2 times, but yeah.
It has become a huge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the forums killed him for me.
The forums,
My
yeah.
God.
People love their Carmine.
They do.
There's a few other characters I can think of I never want to see again, too.
Yeah. There's a few characters that I definitely don't want to see back.
I hope they bring Chaps back just to brutally murder him.
Oh man, he's dead.
How old will he be?
I don't know. Maybe he's just a head in
I
the
don't
jar
think
at
he
this
had- I don't
point.
think
And
he had
somebody
a
drop
better
kicks
than-
it.
What if
I
he's
hope
leading
he's
the swarm?
I mean,
yeah.
He was Gears 4 Hoffman age at the end of 2 and 3,
Yeah.
and then 25 years. Yeah, he dead.
Wheelchair Chaps.
No, I think someone's pulling him in a wagon.
I want to see Wheelchair Hoffman.
Wheelchair
I
Hoffman,
want to see Wheelchair
dual
Hoffman.
Lancers.
That'd be dope. Yeah. It'd be so cool.
So
If you could push him into a group of people and he just kills everything.
What if
just
okay.
kills everything. He's near them, they explode.
Josh, remember the last video where he did was it like there's like capture the flag or like the bomb game type?
Yeah.
What if Hoffman was the bomb?
Oh, you had to wheel him around?
Yes!
That'd be dope.
Oh my god. So, speaking of things that are impossible and not going to happen, how about that converting energy into matter with the fabricator?
The fabricator, yeah. Like
why was the
technology.
fabricator in the campaign?
Because you can convert energy into matter. They obviously figured out physics, Schwartz. You studied physics for a bit. You should know it.
Like before Gears 4 came out, and like they were showing that they had the settlements and DBs. I'm like, there is no there's no plausible way that they could get that in 25 years. Like where they're at, there's no way they could have done it. And they're like, well, we have fabrication technology. Okay, that would explain it, but how'd you get that technology?
And it just like it breaks everything. How do you have any kind of like strife if it's just like, oh, they can just make a thing out of nothing?
Right.
Yeah, that really killed me. It's
I mean, it's perfect for Horde. I mean, Horde doesn't have to be, canon. That's fine.
Right.
It's a brilliant mechanic for Horde. It's so fucking stupid in the campaign.
Yes.
Yeah,
I understand why they did that in the campaign to, get you started with Horde and stuff, but I hate that it was in the story.
But
they
the other thing, Jess,
without...
if it wasn't in the story, though, they would not be able to explain any of the DBs and the new civilization and stuff like that.
Being able to build up like that.
I feel like
one generation.
Somebody at the Coalition was just like, guys, this isn't possible. Wait.
Magic box.
Yes.
I mean, if they're going to explain away something, though, they could have just been like, they got all this shit from Azura. There's like manufacturing and shit there. So, you know, they just like flipped the factories back on and started pumping these dudes out. They don't have to like break physics to make their game work.
Yeah. Oh God, we could go on a tangent forever about that. That's just
like
fun.
Beyond like human and Covenant technology, like in Halo. Like
I mean,
able to convert energy into matter.
Yeah, it makes our like fabricator or not fabricator
3D printers?
resonator nonsense seem plausible. Honestly.
Oh God, our resonator stuff that we talked about. Wow.
No,
I'm going to link that in the description, actually. Jess, we have that on the website, right? Schwartz and I talking about
before
the
the fabricator
resonator.
came up, I still think that the Hammer of Dawn was the least plausible. Not just like having the weapon system, but the ability to have a beam go through the atmosphere and still have enough energy to destroy a city. Like,
yeah.
Damn. I wonder how powerful it would be.
Why isn't cloaking technology being implemented in?
Oh yeah, cloaking. Yeah, that too.
Plot device.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Gears 5, a cloaked Kestrel. Okay.
Whatever. Stupid.
Um,
More Kestrels.
And then the swarm infect that, and then you have an infected invisible Kestrel. Yeah.
Dude, if we get like Robo Pouncers, I can't wait.
Robo.
like
Robo
the,
T-Rexes.
The cyber demons from Doom.
You've
Like,
been
I
playing
want
Horizon Zero Dawn again, haven't you?
Oh, organisms and DBs become one. Be awesome.
So the other two notes I have in this is let's go chapter by chapter or act by act and just what are our thoughts of the actual story. But before we get to that, I just wanted to throw the boss fight out there. Was this the lamest boss fight we've had in any Gears game?
Talking about you're talking about the final boss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like you knew this was gonna be it, and you were sad. You're like, maybe it's not, though. Maybe it's not, but you knew.
I will say,
is it worse than Scourge?
I thought Scourge was a good fight.
Scourge was a good fight. We know you hate Scourge.
I feel like Scourge was missing a final step. The fact that you killed him by killing his ride was...
But the boss fight was before the ride, though, really.
Yeah.
Well,
you should have another boss fight, though.
Yeah.
Once you figure out, I just have to have my Lancer.
Third Scourge stage.
I thought Karn was a pretty good fight. Mira was...
that was a great fight.
Yeah. Mira was an awesome boss fight.
That was a great fight.
More like the atmosphere of it was awesome and stuff.
But it had different stages with different mechanics. I thought that was good.
You couldn't stay in one spot. It was... You were moving around.
Story-wise, it felt awesome.
Scourge had... I like Scourge's fight mechanics, and then it sort of sucked that he died during that flying segment, but that's whatever.
Rom was Karn had the best scenery, I think. Like the battlefield, the colors, everything, and
Judgment looked nice. Like that game was graphically
the Rom fight, like people love Rom,
nostalgia.
But yeah, it's really nostalgia. The Rom fight wasn't really that great.
I think it was the nostalgia of how freaking difficult it was on Insane.
At the time, I think it was. At the time, it was like, oh my god, how am I?
To that end, though, I appreciate the Rom fight because you're actually fighting Rom and not like the bug that he's riding.
Right?
Yeah. I want them to.
Those bugs are cool, though.
I mean, they're cool, and I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't fight them, but I also like want to see a boss where you actually fight the boss and not their.
Yeah, or you could go to Gears 4 where you fight the boss and you're like, what did I just fight?
Was this a boss?
Yeah, I was really sad when we killed the speaker when we did.
Oh, right.
And now we're gonna have.
I was like, okay, stage 2. Wait, he's injured. We were shooting his Swarmak. Why is he like crawling away? Like he's not Karn. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he was in there until afterwards, and he's suddenly like crawling across the floor. Maybe
I still think like
you didn't see him jump on it.
80%.
Schwartz doesn't pay attention to stuff. You know this.
You don't pay attention to stuff, man.
That's story stuff.
That's like
what 80 or 90% people don't know. He actually has a name. He's called the Speaker.
Yeah, I mean, if Sid hadn't told me, I wouldn't know.
But what about Rom's fight in Rom Shadow? Was that better than Rom in Gears 1?
That was pretty cool.
I enjoyed it.
I haven't played Rom Shadow enough to really remember it.
Yeah,
he's flying around on his Reaver, going back and forth.
His Krill Reaver.
Yeah, and then he'll drop Krill bombs on you. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. I was not a fan of this boss fight.
No.
I mean, it also didn't help. It didn't help that Schwartz, you and I didn't take that long to beat it. When Jess and I did it on Inconceivable...
Oh, whatever.
I died. It was me dying a ton. That took us forever to
I was the one doing well.
Because I sucked
really
at timing. And
that there's only one moment. Like, there's only something for one person to do. The other, like, if you're playing co-op, the other guy's just, like, stand behind you.
The end of that boss fight was really dumb.
But it's like, alright, it was dumb the way it was set up, but the fact that you just, like, ripped the rotor off the helicopter and we're like chopping some shit up, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Let's see. So
implausible.
Oh yeah, no, I mean but I mean.
So
how was he the only swarm there? Wouldn't there be little drones around?
That's it.
I don't know.
Like when we saw.
If that's the center of the hive, there would have been more people.
Yeah, when we saw it on the dam earlier, there was just like this swarm of pouncers and stuff everywhere.
It was supposed to be like a swarm version of like a grave mind or something because he had like all the.
Yeah,
I guess, or it was just like a convenient, place to dump all of the mechanics you've seen so far.
Yeah.
I love how there's absolutely no build up to it either. He's just this guy that shows up for the last minute for you to kill.
Right. That's what felt terrible about it. I didn't like the fight itself. The mechanics weren't anything spectacular, but my biggest issue with it was you come around a corner. Actually, no, you don't even come around a corner. You get to a dead end in the mech, and then all of a sudden, no, cutscene, you're Kool-Aid Man through a wall, and there's this dude here. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we can fight him. Man. You Kool-Aid Man through a wall, and then it's, oh, there's a dude here. I'll shoot him. Why not? But, all right, so...
Actually, before we get into, like, the specifics of, doing chapter by chapter, I just want to say, like, for future games, I want them to move past, like this game was just a rehash of all of the, like, greatest hits from the past 3 or 4 games. Like, I feel like every moment... Yeah, well, I mean, like, every sequence in the game, you can find an analog for it somewhere in Gears 1 through 3.
I will be okay if we don't have 2 people turning a wheel in the next game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the mechs fight at the end was just a reskin of the Brumak fight from Gears 2.
But you have 2 of them. Ooh.
Yeah, like, the chasing or finding Marcus Underground really felt like a rehash of the opening sequence.
And also,
Maria too. Yeah, it was like Maria mixed with the the first parts of.
Can we just say that finding a pod underground that you think your dad's in, and then using a chainsaw to open the pod.
Yeah.
And him falling on his face is like...
And you're like, look,
come on.
Can I also say that why did we only go up to one pod to find Marcus?
Well,
like, when
because-
we were looking
because
for
that-
Maria,
it was like
that was
obviously Marcus.
Yeah, that was the glowing pod.
That one's
the
fresh.
only pod that looked that way.
Jess, if one of them's glowing with a light on it, you know that's your quest item. I
Yeah.
mean,
I know
do you
that,
even
but
video game?
Why did we? Why couldn't we look for him?
You mean like
it was a
Maria?
little lame.
Why couldn't we like roll the dice and maybe a juvie popped out or something?
Plot device. You just beat a boss. They're not going to give you more enemies to fight.
Yeah, whatever.
That is, if the Snatcher didn't glitch and become invulnerable, because, you know, that boss is dumb. But,
I don't want to talk about that.
but, alright, so we go through this campaign, and you get this new faction, the DBs, are introduced, and the COG and stuff, and then the Swarm come, and it seems like it's 3 groups that are all going against each other. And that's why we're fighting the Swarm, and we're fighting the DBs. But then, near the end, it seems like the COG started to realize, like, oh, the Outsiders were right, it actually is this, like, third party that we really should be teaming up against.
And they don't team up with you.
Well, I mean, it's not that they don't team up with you, it's... You don't really get to that point. I'm wondering, in Gears 5, will the Outsiders and COG finally be working together? And if so,
Nope.
what... You don't think they will?
The COG will want the Outsiders to come under their wing, and not operate in their own way. And
But
the
will they-
Outsiders won't allow that because that's why they left the COG.
But do you think... Will they actually be fighting each other? Like, as enemies?
Directly.
Because I'm thinking, what about all of these DB enemies that are introduced? What about the Guardians, the Trackers? If we're not directly fighting the COG anymore in the future games, what happens to those enemies?
It would be interesting to like
Robo-Panzer.
to fight alongside them. That'd be pretty cool. And like they could introduce new swarm enemies.
He Jack 3.0, but he's a
Whatever,
Sentinel.
That would be pretty cool. Like
Ooh,
yeah, to have
ooh.
like you'd be able to call in a Sentinel strike, or like, hey, we need some backup, and they drop in a.
Speedy
But-
Condor.
But I mean,
DBs for
The
you.
Swarm take over DB places and take their parts and reuse
Oh, the
them.
And then they
Pounce-
take
the
over a
Pouncers,
fabricator,
what they
and
did
then
to Jin.
fabricate Robo Swarm.
Yes!
it's what the Pouncers did to Jin, they're just going to do to all
Well,
the
Coalition,
actually,
better be
DBs.
working on
yeah,
this.
the Pouncers can like take over. Like they shot at the end of the one chapter, they shoot the
Jin.
DB
Jin
with
bot.
their thing. Yeah,
Jin.
so the Pouncers are gonna start. The Swarm's gonna start taking over. That's not the Swarm. What the hell is?
Yeah. The,
Yeah,
s-
it
Oh, was it the Swarm? Okay. Anyway, yeah.
the
damn.
Swarm is going to start injecting
Yeah,
the-
they're gonna take
the
over
robots.
DBs.
and
Yes!
make Skynet happen, and the COG will lose control of all their robots. There we go.
Like an organic Skynet.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be cool. I still want hybrids, organisms.
So that's where the
and
story's going, we
robotics.
think? The COG's going to lose control of their robots, end up teaming up with the Outsiders to defeat
Yeah,
the
it
Swarm
should-
and the robots together.
To bring StarCraft back into the mix, it could just be like infested Terrans.
If it doesn't
Right.
happen, it's a missed opportunity.
Is it?
Yes.
Because we just came up with that in like 5
Right.
minutes, and I
It's a
really
myth,
hope that TC can...
They should be like taking notes.
If this is
Is
what
it-
happens, then they really should be hiring Sid to write their campaign, because... Oh, man. Alright, let's see. Are there any specifics throughout the campaign that you wanted to call out and highlight?
I hate how they have what looks like the entirety of the DB army, I guess, army and air force, after these little group of people who just 4 people, and they're going after them, and it's just like, yeah, and
Yeah, at
like
one
you said,
point-
we're just gonna like the Kestrel, it's damaged. I don't care. We gotta take him down. They
You
lose.
stole one of our fabricators. We're going to send our army after you.
And you're snatching our people. Blah blah. That's so stupid. And then Marcus is captured, and it's a really traumatizing event, right? Okay, let's play rock paper scissors to see who goes in first. And Kate's like, "Nah, I'm just gonna go." But it's like,
You really hate that part, don't you?
I really hate that part because it's like they're gonna joke around like this. Like what?
And okay,
No.
going back to the characters though, like when Kate's talking about her missing mom or JD's talking about Marcus missing, they're all emotional, yet then on the way they're still cracking jokes. I just feel like it breaks the mood.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
should have brought this up
It
earlier.
feels- there's no consistency, between like
Spin the wheel, see what it lands on.
Like you said, like
in-game, the in-game dialogue for the characters.
But every time that they're like you're playing, they're always like let's kill let's kill the grubs, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
these guys, yeah.
They just have like a set of generic in-game, phrases that they say, and it doesn't really correspond with the mood of whatever part of the game you're in.
Yeah.
Weren't they like their attitudes and like their personalities, weren't they like millennials or something like that, or just like they're just like edgy teenagers or something like that, or something? I don't know. Like compared to like the old Gears.
Well, granted, they haven't been in war. They don't know.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
And I just felt like they could have conveyed that a little better.
Yeah.
Like, this was a serious threat, and it never really felt that serious. Maybe because they heard about Locust stuff, but I don't know.
And then, was it what was it? Like, the reveal of Marcus, like, not dying. It's like, yeah, we already knew that because there was this...
No, we'll leave that.
There's that. I'm going through all of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to die, obviously. And then, the escape from the hive or whatever, that was completely stupid. The dam was like, oh, you have this interesting backstory of Marcus failing at something, right? And he couldn't save them in time. Like, that was cool. And then it's like nothing builds up to that. Like nothing. Like it was like,
it doesn't really go anywhere either. Right? It's just some commentary while he's like giving a tour of this place.
You're like, and then yeah. I think the perfect time for the abomination or the last boss guy to be shown is when like they're overlooking that hive, like during the storm and stuff like that, and they see this huge mass just like moving into the stronghold or something.
You'd think that would be an interesting, like, yeah.
And then you see him, it's like, oh, that's him, like,
yeah.
But wind flares.
Yeah, we'll talk about those in a minute.
I didn't like the defense sequences.
Yeah, we'll talk about those too.
Sam, annoying. Why did you bring her back?
Oh my god.
All right, let's see.
Sorry, there's a good Australian accent, and then there's the annoying one. She has the annoying one.
Bernie has an annoying one too.
Yeah, Bernie beats her by far.
Oh yeah, but I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Are you Australian?
But seriously, the best part was the prologue.
I don't know how to answer that.
The best part of the campaign was the prologue. And Hoffman didn't need to say anything. You could see in his eyes as like, yeah, he's got all this credit on him, but all these Gears that you play as have died, except for like the last guy.
That's another part that I have. Like, I do the prologue is cool. I'll grant you that, but it ties in with my issue of them like resting too much on the old games. Like the prologue that you play is just like a rehash of the highlights of all the previous games, plus a little bit of the Pendulum Wars stuff. And I wish that they'd like started fresh with.
But I like that stuff. Because that if you never played the original trilogy,
exactly,
then you have new players coming in and getting a little bit of a history lesson, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, they used it as like a history lesson and training. It's history lesson and training together.
Cool, I guess.
So I thought that worked out well.
I guess.
Another way to bring in Locust.
So
that people could bitch about them not being.
Their models are in the game, so why aren't they in multiplayer?
Oh my god!
All right, and then the only bad part about the prologue was the ketchup corpser.
I love the ketchup corpser.
The corpser looked terrible.
It was great.
There were also there were some Easter eggs like really early in the game too.
Right.
Let's see. So, looking forward to Gears 5. Any predictions?
Or are we not going to do like a chapter by chapter thing?
I don't know. Do we want to go chapter by chapter?
I have a couple issues with.
I kind of went act by act, but.
Let me get my notes out.
Yeah. So let's see. So we start with prologue.